Quick, make a break for it. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 real-life prison escapes. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're ranking the most dangerous, strange, or death-defying escapes from incarceration.
All we have to do is use gastro-head screwdriver.
Number 10, the Sobibor Escape.
Life had no place in Sobibor.
The extermination camp at Sobibor was a deadly part of Germany's secret conspiracy to eliminate Jewish citizens within the occupied territory of Poland. The fall of 1943 saw an uprising within the camp, however, as an armed resistance of over 300 inmates succeeded in killing 11 of their German captors during a riotous escape attempt. Unfortunately, only between 50 and 70 people managed to escape recapture, with most of the rest returned to the camp and killed. Still, the Sobibor Escape remains one of the most successful instances of organized resistance by Jewish prisoners during World War II.
Get up, Samuel! We're almost at the woods! Get up!
Number 9. Billy Hayes and the Midnight Express.
It's not a train. It's a prison word for escape.
Serving hard time is bad enough, but being sent to prison in a foreign country is even scarier. That's what happened to American student Billy Hayes in 1970, when he was stopped at a Turkish airport while attempting to smuggle 4 pounds of hashish out of the country.
I learned about strengths and weaknesses in jail.
Hayes was initially handed a life sentence, before Turkey's constitutional court shortened it to 30 years in 1975. Hayes made his escape that year by rowboat, laying low in the small Turkish town of Bandırma before crossing the border to Greece. Hayes wrote the book Midnight Express about his experiences, which was developed into the 1978 film of the same name. Number 8. Alfred Hinds, a prison Houdini. Houdini Hinds, as he was known, was a British criminal who staged 3 successful prison breaks during the 1950s. Hinds was a juvenile delinquent and a career criminal who started early. After first escaping a youth detention center, he scaled a 20-foot wall to freedom while serving a prison stint for jewelry theft. His next escape was even more dramatic. On a routine trip to the bathroom while at court, Hinds shoved his guards into the stall and locked them in with a padlock he'd somehow got his hands on. He was caught within hours at the airport, but after his third escape, Hinds was free for 2 years before being caught on an unrelated matter. Number 7. Pascal Payet takes a helicopter. Pascal Payet was many things: father, husband, thief, murderer. This French criminal was also daring, as he made a number of brazenly successful prison breaks using one of the most dramatic means possible: a hijacked helicopter. Payet escaped this way not once, not twice, but 3 times between 2001 and 2007.
It's important for them to fly at low altitude so that they don't show up on anybody's radar.
Perhaps what's most interesting about these helicopter hijackings is their rate of success. Despite Payet's status as one of France's most transferred, guarded, and closely watched felons. Payet lamented his constant prison movement in a 2005 blog post, going so far as to launch a hunger strike in protest. His current location is kept a secret to circumvent any future escape attempts. Number 6. Frank Abagnale, the smooth talker.
I'm jumping puddles for the next few months trying to earn my keep running leapfrogs for the weak and weary.
The real-life inspiration behind the film Catch Me If You Can. Frank Abagnale was a con man who could talk his way out of any situation, even prison. Abagnale was awaiting trial on fraud and forgery charges when he reportedly escaped an Atlanta detention center by impersonating a prison inspector. The smooth-talking Abagnale was no stranger to impersonations, having passed as an airline pilot, doctor, and attorney during his life of crime. He knew that prisons were under intense civil rights scrutiny at the time, and used an outside contact to forge business cards and make convincing phone calls on his behalf. Amazingly, Frank Abagnale now operates a legitimate fraud consulting firm, Abagnale and Associates.
By federal law, your liability is 0.
Number 5. El Chapo's Tunnel to Freedom. Better known by the nickname El Chapo, Joaquin Guzman is one of the world's most dangerous drug lords, the leader of Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, who was first arrested on murder and drug trafficking charges back in 1993. He made his first prison escape in 2001 by successfully bribing his guards, but was finally recaptured by Mexican officials in 2014. A year later, however, the country was shocked to discover that Guzman had escaped once again. This time thanks to an elaborately constructed tunnel that started underneath his cell shower and ran for almost a mile out of the prison.
Yeah, this is maybe about 20 feet, 25 feet maybe.
El Chapo managed to stay on the run until January 2016. Number 4. John Gerard and the Tower of London. To be Catholic in Elizabethan England meant that you might suffer torture and persecution from political authorities. John Gerard was a Jesuit priest during this era, and following his arrest, he was assisted by fellow Jesuit Nicholas Owen in staging a daring escape from the Tower of London in October of 1597. Gerard made his way across a rope that had been stretched across the tower moat, which was no mean feat considering the priest's hands had been severely damaged by his captors. It's also been said that this escape plan included a way out for Gerard's jailer, whom the priest had befriended while imprisoned in the tower. Number 3. Alfred Wetzler's Holocaust escape. Alfred Wetzler's story is notable not only for his incredible escape from the Auschwitz death camp during World War II, but also for the detailed report he co-wrote about the camp's numbers and layout. The Slovakia native collaborated with fellow prisoner Rudolf Verba in a brave and dangerous plan to hide out in a stack of wooden planks set aside on an Auschwitz construction site. The pair waited 3 days without food and water before finally making a break for it, hiding from German patrols as they eventually made their way to Slovakian soil and to freedom. Number 2. Escape from Alcatraz. Many tried, but only one group succeeded. Located off the San Francisco coast, Alcatraz Island is home to one of the United States' most famous prison complexes, the national landmark that bears its name. It was June of 1962 when 3 inmates devised an Alcatraz jailbreak, which involved papier-mâché dummy heads in their beds, an inflatable raft, and a lot of luck. Debates rage to this day about whether or not Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, Clarence and John, successfully made it to shore, as a discarded paddle and remnants of their raft were eventually found by authorities.
It appears that they drowned. Why? If that was important enough to take along, they wouldn't have lost it. Maybe they lost it to look like they drowned.
However, if Morris and the Anglins did make it to freedom, they've been fairly quiet about it ever since.
This bay's got nothing on them.
Before we name our number 1 prison break, here are some honorable mentions.
The next job is to hit that fence, cut through it as fast as we could, and get that ladder up against the wall.
Number 1. The Great Escape.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
It was the subject of one of the most famous World War II films ever, the real-life breakout from the Stalag Luft III POW camp located in present-day Żegania, Poland. The Great Escape detailed a mass exodus of prisoners from the camp, thanks to a series of 3 hidden tunnels dug incrementally by the prisoners over a period of time. The tunnels were given the names Tom, Dick, and Harry, and were designed to transport as many prisoners as possible out of the camp and towards freedom.
This tunnel is mine as much as anybody. I dug it, I built it, I was buried many times. I go when I want.
76 detainees managed to escape, despite freezing weather conditions and other problems. But only 3 avoided recapture, with 50 of the original 76 ultimately executed by German soldiers.
As I expected, either a long stay or a very short trip. Yes.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.